Good evening, Scott. How are you today?
I'm doing well, Keith. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing just wonderful. Have you done anything interesting lately, and what was it that made you happy?
Well, recently I watched this movie that came out. It's called Thor: The Dark World. It was very, very interesting, and I enjoyed it tremendously.
Okay, I've heard about that movie. I've actually been looking forward to hopefully seeing that myself. What was it that made it so interesting?
Well, it's all this action from people flying around, blowing stuff up. Also, Marvel, for something that they do that I really enjoy is that they throw in subtle humor throughout their entire movie, and it just really brings everything together.
Oh, that does sound very interesting. What is it about the comedy, I guess, included aspect with that, and I guess what really makes it so attention grabbing? I guess what really makes it, how does it really do well with, I guess, the action part of it in terms of explain that a little bit more? I mean,
Well, as they are flying around, beating people up, exploding stuff, and then they have little back and forth dialogues where they converse and then make fun of each other, or they do little jokes. It's like in between all the explosions, you got the funny little human aspect.
Oh, okay, yes, I can understand that very well. I guess tell me more about I guess the most recent, I guess, superhero movies that the popular ones that have come out here lately. Which one of them that you like the most? I mean, what really made you, I guess, the start of the interest, I guess, in terms of being able to go see them in the big screen, or what started with the interest in comic books?
Well, you said the favorite recent movies.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to say one of my favorite recent movies that came out was the Avengers, which actually brought together all these other superhero movies that were made by the same studio. Because I recently watched this documentary about the Avengers movie and all the processes in making it, and they said that they decided, hey, let's try something different. If we take all the superheroes that don't even have a franchise yet, they all form one of the most iconic teams of Marvel history, the Avengers. And why don't we do something that no one's ever done before, and we make it so that all their movies are connected in a way that they're each their own story, but they can be woven together into a further story. So, like, instead of them just being stories on their own, which they can be, they can also be chapters in a much bigger book.
Oh, yeah, it does. I mean, yeah, it does sound very, very interesting. I like how that seems to transpire, and I like how that seems to come about. I mean, that would be something I'd like to be able to maybe do a little bit more research on and be able to find out more about. I guess tell me about what is your favorite comic, or character, I guess. Tell me a little bit more about which one is you like the most interesting to you.
My favorite character from the Avenger movie?
Or just either all together in general, or just a character, superhero character, I guess, altogether.
Oh,
Which one is your most favorite?
If we're talking about most favorite, I would have to say it would have to be Batman.
Oh, okay.
Because Batman, even though he's a billionaire, I can still relate to him in the fact that he's not a super powerful person. He's just a man that has been able to take it upon himself to rid the world of crime. I feel like that's a very noble thing to do when you don't have superpowers.
Okay, yeah. Me personally, I do happen to say Batman is also my favorite too. I definitely enjoyed it all the way back to the very beginning of the Batman series. Michael Keaton was my favorite one. I thought he did the best, the all-time best Batman, and I'm very pleased with the most recent ones. I'm looking forward to the new ones coming out, and like to be able to add that to my collection. I guess one more question I would have to ask is what little things could, like, say, the comic book, say, I guess regime, I guess, or the comic book I don't know exactly how to powerhouse, I guess, or the nation. What is it that are you looking forward to next in terms of new ones that are coming out? And give me a little bit of a insight of a character that you may be looking forward to see.
That documentary I told you about actually talked about their future plans for the franchise, and they talked about how something interesting about the Avengers is that through the years that it has been out, the members have changed over and over again. Any given time you can have at least one to the entire team being different. They talked about how they were going to, in the next Avengers film, they're going to add 2 new people to their team. And interestingly enough, they're mutants from the X-Men universe called Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver.
Yes, I've heard of that.
Brother and sister whose father is Magneto, which might bring Magneto into the universe. I don't know. Speculation here. I think that'd be interesting.
That sounds very interesting.
They also showed scenes from maybe an Ant-Man movie coming out, which I think that would be very cool, because Ant-Man, by himself, he's pretty cool, but he can also become Giant Man, depending on how he wants to fight.
Oh, interesting. That sounds like some really interesting stuff coming up and some things to look forward to. Something that I'd be definitely looking forward to, too. I'm sure you're very happy about that. Well, thank you very much for your time, Scott, and thank you for telling me this interesting story, and have yourself a wonderful day.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me talk.